guys, we are here with Bartek. Nice to meet you, Bartek.
Hi,
Bartek
nice to meet
is
you.
the president of Bartolini Air. First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your background.
Okay, so basically, have a degree in mechanical engineering. That's my basic background, to which I have added an MBA. So for many years, I was managing some industrial companies, but of course, I wanted to come back to aviation, which was my dream for the time I was a kid, and I was happy enough to fly in the cockpit of an airline. Yeah, okay, so that's basically my background.
Okay, really nice. We know that Bartolini Air is one of like the most complete schools that we have in the world, and is actually the biggest school in Poland. We want to know what's the secret behind this. What's the secret behind the success of Bartolini Air?
Well, I don't know if we're the most complete, but actually we're trying to be one. I think the success, it's a mixture of many things. The first one is certainly a passion. If you don't have passion for this, whatever is the activity, you will never achieve your goal. So I think that's absolutely number one. Then I think we're also lucky because we are lucky to have a very good group of people working with us. I think it's also very important to have dedicated, passionate people working for a company in order for the company to develop itself. And of course, another thing I would add to that mixture, which in my opinion is also maybe not critical but important, is to try not to follow other people or other companies, but try your own track to the success.
And that it's just the same way that you are saying, because you have your own simulators, you have your own like software to manage everything, like eBart. You have everything, you build everything around you. So you are really unique, and you have your own things, and that's just amazing. And what you are saying about the people around us that are passionate about it, that is also true, because we are feeling that passion with everyone that is around us. So that is really true. And what are the next steps that the school want to take to improve its training for the students?
Well, we want to, keep excelling. That's for sure. This is something we did not achieve. This is probably something we'll never achieve. It's, like you're running a rabbit. Yeah, we need to run and try to catch it. But every day we try to be better. But obviously it's not something we can, it's not a job you can accomplish and just say, okay, it's done. So that's the first thing. But to be more practical, for us, the critical thing from now is to help our students to enjoy also more, let's say, the flying whole year around. Poland is great as a country. I think we have shown that Poland is a fantastic place for flight training. However, we have one issue, which is the winter, which is problematic from the weather perspective, and so also because the days are shorter. So this is something we have to deal with today, and this is something we want to definitely improve.
Okay, perfect. And you have some plans to deal with that?
Yes, exactly. We are hardly working now. We're working hard. Now to find a solution to be able to solve that major issue.
Okay, perfect. And why a future student, so why someone who wants to become a pilot should choose Bartolini Air? What is different in Bartolini Air than in other schools?
Well, I don't want to say we are better. I think the most important whenever someone chooses a school is to see what is the main aim of that school. For us, the key point and really what makes us, it's our fuel, I would say, is to see the success of our students. And for me, a success of our student is not just to obtain a license. This is just a piece of paper at the end. What for me is important is our student will get a job at the end, because they're investing a lot of money, they're investing a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and this we cannot waste all those resources. So it is for us absolutely critical for the student to have a job at the end.
Okay, that's the ultimate goals for the school and also for the students.
I think that's the key point. And whenever a student chooses a school, I think he needs to see whether the school has that particular aim as the number one.
Yeah, that's really important. In our podcast, we always say that as someone who is trying to look out for schools, should talk with the students. So should see what are the students that are coming out of that school and see if they are going to any job or what is the experience. The main thing is you should always talk to the students of the school because it's the end of the line of a school. It's the students. And as a final question, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you face being the president of Bartolini Air?
Well, no, there is no one challenge. Again, it's a very complex question you're asking me now. For us, the challenge is to keep growing without losing this human level we have. Okay, there's always a risk where the company grows, and this is true for any kind of activity. That at some point you lose contact with the crowd. And I think today this is something we need to be extremely careful. We became a huge school today, but I still want to be in touch with our customers. I'm still instructing. I'm still giving a lecture, even if it takes me a lot of my time. But I'm always happy to do it because for me it's a fantastic moment to exchange, to discuss with our students. And this is something which I think today is one of the major challenges for us.
It's like to manage your time and everything you need to do. Okay. Perfect. Bartek, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
How was the school created? How is all the history of the school?
Well, as very often pure coincidence, first of all. I was myself training as a pilot as a student, and my instructor was a very young boy, I should say, at that time, who was his first student, and this instructor was Adam, which is today my business partner.
I co-founded Bartolini together with Bartek, a friend of mine, who was my first PPL student. This is how it started.
And since we started flying, we noticed that there is a lot of things we could do better. I was training in an air club. I don't want to criticize it. It was a great place, but we saw that there is a lot we could do better. And, we started chatting together, and finally we decided, why don't we try ourselves? That was the first step.
Basically, he proposed to me to start the company. Later on, another his friend joined in, and we are the three shareholders of the company and co-founders, in fact. Special bond has been created between us because on one hand, I was teaching Bartek to fly. He was teaching me how to manage the company because he had a previous management experience. And that was like a natural fulfillment between each other. So it was really nice. And of course, when we started, the company was young. We didn't have a lot of funds. So we started really, I would say, soft start. Just to give you an example, our first office was a camper. So something like those startups that you hear about in Silicon Valley. That was something like that. Not a garage, but almost.
So we tried with a very limited resources. We had an office in the city center and just a trailer here at the airport as a briefing office, which we still have by the hangars.
Yeah, it was. You have the opportunity to see in the installations video. You can see the trailer.
Later we just progressed. We bought more and more planes. Of course, we started with the old ones, with the second-hand aircraft. The first airplane that we bought was actually Piper Arrow.
Oh, wow.
Which was strange because you couldn't use it you could use it for initial training, but we already back then wanted to create a training program for the CPL training.
Yeah.
And there was this opportunity to buy this airplane. So the first one was actually the Piper Arrow. Later on, we bought Cessna 172, Cessna 150, another Cessna 150, and this is how it started.
Exactly. So that was the very beginning with some old Cessnas, and this is where we started. I think one of the key points of our history was the moment we decided to change completely the fleet.
Well, because it's a big contrast because you have such a recent Technam fleet.
Yeah, I think if we talk about the history, there were some major bullet points on the timeline. One of them was actually introduction of Technam aircrafts. I remember Martin Sikora, who was back then a representative of FR, came to us and he proposed us this idea to change to change the fleets to Technams. And for us, it was quite shocking. Like, well, what is tech firm? Like, we didn't know back then the history, which is quite interesting history. But back then, we were like more curious about how it's gonna be like. What will be the maybe what will be the quality of the planes? What will be the efficiency of the aircrafts? Pilot training. How often do they can have some damages or some other maintenance squawks? So natural questions, yeah?
Okay, the first step was to buy a Tecnam 2006, which was a glass cockpit aircraft, extremely fuel efficient. At the time, we were doing multi-engine IFR training on Piper PA-34 Senecas, which was a great aircraft, but pretty expensive in terms of operating costs, and relatively old in terms of conception. So we decided it's time to go into the 21st century. So the first step was 2006, then later came the Tecnam 2002, which was another amazing step. It was a training two-seater with also a glass cockpit. So this was, in my opinion, a very important step in our history.
And I remember when the representative of Tecnam visited us, parallelly, so it was around 2006, P2006 was actually announced during Friedrichshafen.
Okay.
And that was quite unique because imagine an airplane like Cessna 172, but with two Rotax engines. So we got very interested in that idea, and this is how it started. So in fact, the first Tecnam we bought was Tecton Twin, and later on we moved to singles. We started to replace old Cessnas, Pipers, and right now we have just monofleet of Tecnams. We have only one Cap 10, which we use for aerobatics. A part of that is only monofleet of Tecnam, which gives you a lot of advantages. Imagine one engine, the same engine type on a twin aircraft on a single. So we always have one engine on stock. If needed, we can replace them and so on. So there is a lot of benefits of that. Yeah. So for sure, introduction of Tecnam family was this bullet point in the development of the company. I think another key point was introduction of international students, because initially we started with Polish students, but at a certain point we realized that there is a great demand in Europe. Why not to use our resources, our knowledge already to develop the international training?
That's very interesting because right now the majority of the students are actually international.
Yes, that's true.
We want to expand abroad, not to stay just a Polish school for Polish pilots, which of course we're still happy to be. But I think Poland has a lot of strengths and interesting points that makes this place be a fantastic place for pilot training. So we decided, let's now try to expand abroad. And that was also a very key point in our history. The last one I would say was the one when we moved to our new premises 2 years ago, when we decided to refurbish the former terminal of the airport,
which is where we are.
This is where we are now. Yeah, that's the place where we decided to expand our activity 2 years ago. I think this was also a very critical key point of us. Yeah, so those are let's say the major steps. There were more, of course, because obviously in 18 years of history there are many steps. But these, I would say, are the most key one.
Talking a little about Bartolini as a whole, you have other type of operations, right?
Yeah, because again, as the company grew, we wanted to expand. COVID exactly showed us that we can only rely on one leg. We need multiple legs for better security. And this is the reason why we took an effort to certify ourselves as an AOC operator. And that was, in fact, COVID expedited all the plans that we had in the past, but we saw that, okay, this is the time we need to do it. It's
okay. And what about the citation jets, the CJ?
Yeah, the CJ, that's an important step as well. At some point, we decided that we need to also use our experience and gain some more experience by operating commercially. Mm-hmm. So we decided also to create a company with an AOC where we operate business jets. That was also a pretty important step for us, because buying a first jet for a company was of course a key point. Today we are operating 3 of them, a 4th to come soon, very soon. So I'm happy because the company created is very successful. We have a fantastic team of people working for the company. And for us instructors, pilots, it's also an amazing opportunity to learn operating commercially. And this knowledge we have from our operations it is something we can pass to our students, which is also extremely valuable.
Of course. So correct me if I'm wrong, but Bartolini actually innovated on the simulator area. I've heard that you've actually built your own simulators. Yeah. Yes. My major is actually mechatronics. So I studied in that, let's say, field. And as a hobby, in fact, I started to play a bit with our own sims that we bought already from some third-party companies. We were not fully satisfied with the products, and that was the reason why we actually started to build our own. And it was just more like playing in the garage initially with that, until we managed to build a nice sim, which I think fits our needs. Because again, we didn't build the simulator because you can buy the sim. There's plenty of manufacturers on that, but each of them, there was something that we didn't like. So we wanted to have more customized approach into that topic, which we couldn't get on the market. And that was the reason why we actually built. That's very, very unique to Bartolini. Yeah. And in fact, that project, all the instructors joined in. Oh, wow. They put their own inputs, like what could be changed. You know, a lot of the time, manufacturers, they're not making any surveys or asking in details, like, where would you like to have, I don't know, footrest in the simulator? Yeah, because I spent there, 8-10 hours as an instructor in the sim, in this, crampy box. Yeah. I would like to feel rested. I would like to have all the good quality materials, equipment. So I think our instructors also joined into that project, and they gave a lot of feedback. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you. I'll see you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much for receiving us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
This amazing school. We are loving this experience. We want to give you a big thank you, to wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you too. Thank you. Thank you.
Bem, chegamos ao fim desta linda série na Bartolini Air. Queremos deixar um grande agradecimento a todas as pessoas que nos receberam tão bem nesta escola.
Para ser um pouco mais específico, queremos agradecer ao Nuno, ao José, ao Majay, ao Charlie, ao Bartek, Adam, Piotr e à Caixa.
Esperamos que vocês tenham gostado. Como vocês sabem, nós não estávamos à espera de receber esta oferta e esta oportunidade. Por isso, espero que vocês olhem com outros olhos para a possibilidade de virem para fora do país, tirar o vosso curso e seguir o vosso sonho de se tornarem pilotos.
Se vocês gostam deste conteúdo, por favor, apoiem o nosso canal, deixando um comentário, deixando um like, mandando-nos uma mensagem. Nós estamos cá para aquilo que precisarem. Muito obrigado.
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 Eu só quero confirmar que temos o mesmo todo.